So I was just saying to the girls that Jiu-Jitsu, if we boil it down to the simplest thing, is just gaslighting people into making an error and then putting them to sleep. They seem to like that idea, you know, so yeah. All right, guys. Cool, let's get into it. Zach, I'll use you. So, guys, this week we've been looking at like go behinds and stuff mainly, okay? Whether it's from the ground, like how we were doing crab rides and De La Hiva and stuff to take the back and using our guard, we also need to be able to do that from standing. So we're just gonna go back over some of the wrestling fundamentals so that you're comfortable on your feet. All of this is going to be dealing with a person's collar tie and when a person touches up with you, okay? So first thing I'd like from you guys is to make sure that you're in a good, strong stance, okay? I don't want to see any of you guys ice skating, okay? What I mean by that is like your base is narrow like this. It's going to be very easy for Zach to be like off balancing me and things like that. So we've got a wide enough shoulder width base, one leg forward, 1 foot back, because, you know, square's not good, okay? So I'm here. I'm gonna push in on him. I don't need to collar tie him to go behind, okay? But I do need to kind of gauge the range so that I'm in here, okay? Cool, if I can collar tie him, I can go to other options, but we're gonna be dealing with counter collar tie stuff, okay? So we're here, he's gonna collar tie me back, okay? Guys, if we're in this close range and his elbow's close here, it's gonna be hard to do the elbow pass that we were dealing with this week, okay? If it's out here, and he's been reaching with it, it's much easier to get that elbow pass going, okay? Thumb's gonna be up. So we're here, if it's a longer range one, I'm gonna start to elbow pass him that way, okay? Making sure that if he pushes back into me, that I've got enough here, he push by your elbow. He tries to turn back into me, I can keep that, okay? So keep your elbow tight. You don't wanna be like out here where he can just now square back up on you. It's been a wasted move. So here, bang, take it by, and then you can start to either step in for your back body lock or picking up your single, okay? Either way is fine. Here, take it by, start driving in on that single. Look at how my head stays high on his shoulder. I don't want to have bad posture and get guillotined to my single, okay? So start with that, just start with a little bit of a move around, okay? So you're gonna go here, touch up with him, elbow pass, just in on a single with the head post on the shoulder here. From here, you can start to go hip, body lock, throw him by and start going to the back, okay? Is that all good? Cool? Let's get into it. Yes, awesome. Yeah? Now, also, once you get to that single leg, and you get in here, I want you to start going to the back. So if my head's already past your shoulder like this, I'm gonna connect my hands in a gable grip, and then I'm gonna lean on her with my head, okay? Elbow pass is to get them to step. To bring that leg to you. So if you can, nah, it's good because no one's going to, you know, as soon as there's resistance here and I go like this, nice, cool. You got a couple reps in? Have you done a couple reps? Okay, you done a couple reps? All right, cool team. Very good, very good. Zach. Now, Zach asked a question, but we were going this way anyway. Guys, the best time to be doing that kind of slide by is when the collar tie comes in. I'm not here to tell you to be Mr. Miyagi and try and catch flies out of the air with your chopsticks, okay? Like, Jiu-Jitsu is not about this. Like, I'm not trying to like finesse the guy like in the Matrix, okay? I know that a collar tie is gonna hit me on the head. So, I'm just waiting for it, okay? And I try to go for that slide by as soon as it comes in. But Zach asked, maybe sometimes that doesn't happen. Maybe I was preoccupied with another tool and he drops that collar tie in on me and I'm like, oh shit, and now I can't get that going. You see how his elbow's down? Now I'm like, oh, things are a little bit harder and I can't get that elbow pass. When that's the case, guys, we're gonna go wrist with our cross hand. I'm gonna go wrist and then elbow, and now I'm gonna pull him by, okay? So you see I'm blading my stance a little bit. Be careful about pulling your head out of line. I'm not going ooh like that, I'm all out of balance. All I'm doing here is when that drops in, I go and blade my stance a little bit. If you have to take a little back step to help you, all good. Now from here, it's the same thing as before, right? I can lead him by, go to the back, and start to go in on the far side spin, okay? So, just a little detail on it here. Get to the wrist. Try not to grab him on the belly of his muscle, okay? You get no purchase. Try to go high, still thumb up, step out a little bit and blade. That's what you need. You need him stepping, and then you can start to either come in on your back body lock or go for the same thing, the single leg again, and build to the back body lock. Sound good? Okay, go make that collar tie a little bit harder now and make them deal with that. Nice. And then build up to the hips. Once again, you're doing what we talked about before, and you're climbing the ladder of the body. We want to get as much of their body under control as possible, because you know what to do once you get here. Once you're in on the single leg, you're going to be going, now what? Yeah. And wrestling's hard. Wrestling's hard. We don't want to do hard things. We want to do easy things. Yeah.
Do it again.
Nice. Good. Just don't be square behind her hips, yeah? You know, you're like kind of standing right behind her like this. Load up one hip, load up one shoulder, and then you can bar across with one arm, yeah? Yes. Yeah, that, yes. Yeah. If your hips and their hips are square behind, there's risks they can start to roll through on leg locks and stuff. We want to make things asymmetrical, like unbalanced and unfair. So if you've got all the weight on one side, they're like, oh shit.
That makes it easier.
Yeah, way easier. That's nice here, good. And then build up to your waist cinch. So go single, body lock, and then go to the back, okay? Yeah, nice, good. It's good for a Muay Thai guy.
He's trying to go fast, bro. He's trying to...
Yeah.
You like that speed one?
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. Cool. Okay, awesome guys, good. Now that we're warm, let's look at how to get them to the ground from the back, okay? There are so many different ways, guys. I can't cover them all tonight. We've looked at a couple this week, so I'm just gonna revise, okay? So, however you got here, the important thing is not to stand square behind them, okay? I don't really have control of his posture here. It's a little bit too friendly, okay? So I wanna lean off to a side and load one hip and one shoulder, okay? You can put your head this way. Just be careful because, you know, a spazzy dude might start turning and you can cop an elbow to the face. So what I like to do is I like to have my head facing here so I can actually kind of still see what's going on, okay? We're gonna use a couple of things depending on what he does, okay? If his posture's broken like this already, we can hit that little knee block, okay? And we can start to bring him forward. And we can start to get him to the mat here. Once we get him to the mat, we talked this week about just like our basic mat return, using that elbow on the hip to sink his hip to the mat without mine touching the mat. Then we were coming up and starting to ride. Both knees into him, squeezing his hips together, and we're in that position to start dealing with his neck and start making things happen, okay? So option number one, if you've dominated his posture and he's bent over here. We're loading up one side. Now look, my feet are still on the ground. I'm not trying to throw a leg pass, okay? I'm here, blocking that knee and starting to go to the mat, okay? If I can land with a leg controlling his, that's all good. What I can start to do here is also put a little coyote hook in where I step my heel over his ankle. Now I can start to lean, pull, and bring him back, okay? The move is only done once his hips are on the mat, okay? From here, then I can start to get into positions where I'm pinning, dominating, and riding, okay? Getting ready to either deal with his posture or to submit him. Now, that's option one. Option two is here where Zach starts to stand tall on me, okay? He's had enough of having me break his posture down, okay? Now, there's a couple things we can do from here. I'm only gonna show you two tonight, okay? The backside, Tayatoshi, it's Tayatoshi? Something like that, okay? Could be called Tayatoshi, could be something else, who knows? All you need to know is that you're switching your hips, we're turning our stance, and I'm trying to aim this foot for that foot, okay? Don't turn your knee laterally like this, because you don't want him landing on this part of your leg, okay? So I'm here, I've pushed him, he postures, turn, make him sit over my leg, and he goes right to the mat return position. So that's a good advantage to have. You see, I'm already covering his hips here, and then I can start to go high. Or I can sit back low and keep him dragged to the mat, up to you. Final one, you get to the back, he stands tall and starts trying to walk his hips away. Okay, so he's doing that, we're gonna go, and we're gonna match his footwork. 1, 2, 3, and take him down, okay, with a little foot sweep. I'm not lifting him, guys, I'm taking his step away from him, okay? From here, once again, take him to the mat return his hips. Last one more time. We're here, in, he walks, 1, 2, 3, and go. Put his hips down. If you get his hips down straight away, ride the bike, don't let your knees touch the mat, squeeze them in on his hips. Okay, you can do any one of those, you can try all three of them, up to you, okay? Sound good? All right, let's do it. So if he's in the turtle and you're trying to go to that mat return, what I recommend here, you've got the legs for this as well, is you take that back leg now and you find his ankle. You can take a thigh pry now on the far side like this and start to pull that open, right? Now you're right in it. Now you can, if you want to take the back, you can go top hook and then take him over, right? Cool. Goes with your right foot and block his knee with your right knee, and now start leaning him until he goes to the mat, yeah? Okay, cue. So guys, great. Okay, calm down. Just on that mat return position. So guys, great. Yeah. You got them here, now what? Okay? Now it's time to start either creating a better pin to go to a better position or to start finishing them, okay? So we're gonna look at like a rear naked choke from this position, or at least enough to threaten them so that we can look at other things, okay? Now guys, the important thing is that you're riding and giving them your pressure, because if my knee's on the mat here or my hips are on the mat, Zach's just gonna get up. Yeah, he just gets up, okay? If I go like this and my hip touches the mat, he's gonna get up and I'm gonna be very slow back to the game. So when you get to this position here, guys, you need to make sure that you're up off the mat, okay? Only thing touching the mat from me is my feet. This knee's tight in on his hip, near his IT band, and this one's touching in on his other hip, okay? From here, if I'm back body locking, that's all good. If I start to come in over the top, it's gonna be with this hand. It's not gonna be with the hand that's on the hip, okay? There's a couple things that we looked at doing this week, okay? But the main one here is to start getting the weight forward on his shoulders so that he has to hold himself up with his hands. If I'm just back like this and Zach can like move his hands around and stuff like that, I'm not really doing a good job. I have to lean forward and threaten putting him face down on the mat so that he's actually legitimately worried about that. He puts his weight down there. From here, we're gonna take a Dagestani handcuff, okay? It's a Khabib move, okay? And it's really good for like mat returning people. I've got his hips on the mat. I wanna get his shoulders to the mat. So I take that and I start pulling it past his body, okay? From here, I'm gonna put a little bit of pressure forward so that his shoulder's now pinned to the mat, okay? From here, yes, I can put his hand all the way behind his back like this in the old police restraint and then like arm lock him with it. Realistically, doing that to a good person is not gonna happen. So if I can get in here and just put his shoulder to the mat, that's good enough for me, okay? Earlier this week, we looked at stepping over and turking him backwards now. So I can take this leg over to his knee and start pulling him open so that I can take the mount and pull him back. I can let go of that arm at this point and then put him in the mount, okay? That's what we looked at earlier in the week. The other option is that you don't take the mount, you just grab that hand, and now I can release with this one and start coming over and look for my rear naked choke. If you don't know this part, you haven't been here this week with the Dagestani handcuff and the mount, you're just gonna take this arm over, you're gonna swim through with the weight coming over his top shoulder here with chin and chest. Dig in and find your rear naked. Especially if this is your first couple classes and you haven't seen that before, I just want you to work on it here. Remember guys, if you're new and you apply a submission to a person, when they tap, you let go. And when you tap, they let go. Golden rule, okay? If you've been here this week, you can start to Dagestani them. Bring that past here, okay? Once you get to this position, you see how Zach's knee is up like this? I can take a hook in and turk him back from the near side. Then I can step over. If I'm really mean, I keep his hand behind him here. Take that and start to turn him, okay? It's not very nice for him. He's pretty much gonna be in a pin the whole time and I can keep that hand trapped and then he's gonna have a very bad time, okay? We looked at setting up arm triangles and stuff like that from there. If you know that part, you can go to it. Take it where you guys wanna go. Drill it out, mat return, use the Dagestani or go to the rear naked, okay? Sound good? Okay, let's do it. Let's go, team. Long, he's behind you. Don't let him do that to you, man. Look out.
You chose Jiu-Jitsu? Me!
It's not looking good for you, man.
That's it, that's all, team.
So, another Friday done. We've been looking at go-behinds this week. We're trying to get guys to wrestle for Jiu-Jitsu, not do wrestling for wrestling's sake. And you know, like shooting on the doubles and shooting on singles can often lead to you having a really tough time from underneath an opponent or getting yourself guillotined. So looking to expose the person's back and then mat return them, killing their hips and pinning the person. It's kind of all the fundamentals of what Jiu-Jitsu is about. So we're just trying to get the crew back up to speed with that. Mainly a revision thing for us. A lot of the team have seen what we did tonight before. But you know, we got to cycle back onto those things that are like the mainstays of what's fundamentally Jiu-Jitsu. Pinning and controlling a person, fighting from advantageous positions where we've got like an asymmetric advantage. So think about those things when you're training, and you'll find that going behind a person or putting them in unfair positions where they have to work way harder than you is always going to be easier. So employ that in your own training, and yeah, we'll see you in the next vlog. Oos. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Cheers, bro.